Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Spoken. This is our Chiefs segment. We haven't done a Chiefs segment in a while. Once again, Terry Love, Mr. Lance Twitwood to my left, Derek Williams to my right. As you guys can see, I'm wearing an old 1970 Super Bowl champions Chiefs hat. This is a throwback hat now. Whew. Hopefully we get a 2013 Super Bowl champion hat. We'll see this season.
My dad was a year old when that happened, so
wow.
Yeah, something needs to change.
I wasn't even born.
Wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, there has been some interesting Chiefs news going around. First of all, Dwayne Bowe has yet to be signed, and we're going to talk about that as of right now. So, Derek, what's going on with that?
I'm scared. I'm scared to death. We need Dwayne Bowe. Let's not beat around the bush. We got to get this guy. PLE, get the guy signed. I mean, if we want to take that next step this year, and I think we're going to have a great year, I'm thinking 12-4. 11-5 at the worst with this team. That won't happen if we don't get Dwayne Bowe signed. Get a man his money. Has he been consistent, great through his career? No, but he deserves the money, and we need him. We have to have him on the Chiefs for us to take that next step because Steve Breston is not a #1 receiver, and Baldwin has not emerged yet. I think Baldwin will get there soon, one day, but he's not there right now. And if this team wants to compete and win a Super Bowl this year or next year, they have to have Dwayne Bowe.
And don't forget, guys, that Moeaki is reliable, from what we've seen, but he is coming off an ACL tear, so we don't really know how healthy he is. Kevin Boss is obviously going to help that, as well. But this whole situation doesn't make sense to me. And me and Terry and I have talked about this numerous times. The biggest reason it doesn't make sense to me is because Dwayne Bowe is one of the things that blankets Matt Castle's mistakes a lot of times.
Very much so.
And if we don't have Dwayne Bowe, what's justifying keeping Matt Castle? In all reality, I mean, I don't really understand. It's not really lining up. It's not really adding up to me. Why?
It's real quick, it's simply put, like Lance and I discussed, you willing to pay a guy who played 1 year with the New England Patriots, $63 million contract, guy who's been with us for his whole career, prove himself.
With no quarterback, with no proven quarterback. Brody Crow was probably the best quarterback he played with, before Matt Castle, obviously. But to take it a step further, when Tom Hawley got his extension a couple years back, Pioli came out and addressed it. He didn't just say, hey, we signed Tom Hawley. He came out and addressed it. He said, this is a guy that we want to have on our team. This is a guy that we love and we want to have here for life and all this stuff. He's very important to what we do and the direction we're heading. But I'm not hearing anything about that with Dwayne Bowe, even when they put the tag on him. I didn't hear it. All they put was Dwayne Bowe has got the franchise tag, the official franchise tag for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm not understanding it, really. I mean, I know Dwayne Bowe has had his issues, quote unquote, but compared to a lot of guys that have made a lot of money in this league, it's nothing. The guy. You might as well put a halo over his head. He's not the brightest guy in the bunch, but he's a damn good receiver. The guy is talented. He's shown this team that he wants to play here. He wants to put up big numbers. He wants to win. I don't understand why you haven't signed him yet. Why you haven't given him at least a 4 or 5 year deal.
Another signing that I'm kind of confused about is #1 draft pick, Terry Pope. You haven't signed him yet. We signed all the other draft picks except for him. With the number 11 pick the Chiefs had in the draft, we are on a different pay scale with the rookies and so on and so forth. So I don't understand why it's taking so long with this scale to sign.
Yeah, that's more of the process. I mean, but the problem is that where are the priorities? Yeah, where are the priorities? Is the priority to sign him as soon as possible, or are they just trying to drag it out and see if they can get it to the lowest level of pay? I don't know.
When you're dealing with from the top 13 picks in the league, it's more like a domino effect. A lot of teams are waiting. Chiefs are going to wait around and see what mostly other rookies are getting. Then they'll measure.
Yeah, Andrew Luck hasn't even signed yet.
And then they'll measure what they think that he should get. I'm not worried about Poe. When it comes down to it, he'll be in training camp. He'll be signed.
Well, and there's a lot of good things going on, in Chiefs camp. Obviously with OTAs, from what I've read, guys like Travis Daniels, a former cornerback from the Chiefs. Now they actually moved him to safety because they said he's playing so well at the safety position. The Chiefs, from what I've heard, offense, they've been practicing a lot at the opposite 20-yard line in the red zone because from last year, the Chiefs were the worst in the NFL at red zone scoring, 33%. That's terrible. So obviously there's a lot of practice going on. I'm hearing a lot of good things about Ricky Stanzi. I'm hearing there's a lot of upside. I mean, there's a lot of people that there's mixed reviews with this kid because obviously, in all fairness, we have not seen him play in an NFL game. And a lot of people are like, why didn't we see him last year? Why didn't we see him? And talking to X Factor, the thing he told me was, this kid didn't have any rookie mini camps because of the lockout. He didn't have OTAs. He didn't know the playbook. So when we came into this season, he literally was learning as the season was progressing. That's why we went and claimed Kyle Orton, because we needed a veteran guy that could learn, that understood the basics of this offense the way it was ran. So that's why that happened. And I look to see Ricky Stanzi getting at least a chance of if and when Matt Castle does struggle this season.
What do you hear about Ricky Stanzi? Are you interested possibly in him starting possibly, or is he going to be good enough? I mean, because far as I understand, when I read even from the Chiefs, KC Chiefs website, they were saying that he's been running the second team often. Brady Quinn has been put back, down, so he's kind of moving him up the chart, the depth chart.
And that's where Ricky Stanzi will stay. Matt Castle will be the starting quarterback for this Kansas City Chiefs football team, and Matt Castle will go to the Pro Bowl this year.
And what do you think about this new signing? We got Alex Tanney, the trick shot quarterback from Monmouth.
A trick shot quarterback. There's a reason why he was trick shotting out of his bedroom window and he wasn't doing anything on the football field.
Great point.
I don't see him making the Chiefs football team. It's a good story to get everybody. It'll fill St. Joe. You'll get 10,000, 12,000 people up in St. Joe to watch this kid throw the ball around the field. I don't expect this kid to make football.
Yeah, it's just a really nice story. It's a good. I don't want to call it a publicity stunt because that's unfair to the kid. He does have talent. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I mean, everybody we've talked about that played with the guy or was his teacher or a coach, they said this guy has a great arm, and I watched film on the guy. The dude has great potential, but is it NFL potential? And I don't know. I mean, we haven't seen him play against legitimate talent. We haven't seen him play against the SEC.
There's a reason why he wasn't drafted at least in the 7th round.
Right.
There was a reason why nobody else called him in.
Yeah.
To get his kid
wasn't drafted.
Okay, but here, we obviously have our exceptions. We have our exceptions. We have our Tony Rose and Matt Schaubs. That's all fun, fine and dandy. But there's a reason why those guys are so rare. Because it doesn't happen every day.
Well, we've seen Kellen Moore do it on a big level, though, Terry.
I understand. I mean, you got to the Division III school, so
the best thing I've seen this kid was throwing it out of his room, wasn't it? I know a good friend of mine named Roosevelt Reed got a big arm, could throw the ball probably about 6-7 yards down the field up at Eisenhower. He's not taking anybody's football field no time.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's why you see guys like Jamarcus Russell.
Because his French dash has got something to do with
That's why you see guys like Jamarcus Russell. They have all these intent, they can throw the ball far on their knee and everything. But when it comes down to breaking down game plans and watching film and audibling and moving defenders off so you open a man up, anticipating passes,
right.
Instincts. Those are what separates guys, and I don't know if Tanney's got that. I don't know. We'll have to see. Obviously, Jim Zorn's the guy. The quarterback coach.
My thought is you got 4 quarterbacks, you got 4 preseason games. Let each quarterback run with the first team, first unit.
I mean,
why not?
Pioli gave us the excuse of why we didn't draft a quarterback this year. He said because he felt that we already had a good enough quarterback core. Okay, well, if you're adding this kid Tanney, then that means that you really did.
What does that mean?
What are the reasons?
Most teams usually, carry 4 quarterbacks.
Yeah, I understand that. Why didn't you draft one then?
Why draft one when you can just pick up one like this?
Okay, then so there's
why draft one? Why waste a draft pick when you can just go pick up a kid?
So basically, this guy's irrelevant. Then he was just to fill a roster spot.
Yeah, just bring him in.
People,
you can bring him in because you just never know.
Right.
You give him a chance, but don't waste it. You don't have to waste a draft pick on a guy throwing it down the street in a pickup truck.
I understand that, but are you really wasting a draft pick if you're trying to pick a guy that could possibly be picked up?
No, you're wasting a draft pick because nobody else in the league wasted a draft pick on this kid for.
No, I'm not talking about Tanney. I'm talking about just quarterback in general.
Oh no, we didn't need.
Not even in the 6th round, 7th round.
Nah, we didn't need.
Other news, Mr. Ocho Cinco was released from the New England Patriots. I've seen some things on the internet already asking should the Chiefs pick him up possibly and get a veteran as Ocho Cinco on the team. What are you guys talking about that? No? Not worth it?
We don't need a Twitter.
He's more of a let's be honest. He's more of a distraction now than a talent.
Yeah, he spends most of his time on Twitter nowadays. I don't need a guy like that.
I love Ocho Cinco. He's been a great football player to this point, but let's be real, guys. He's past it.
He's just not. The Chiefs are at a real sensitive point right now. We're trying to turn that corner, and we don't need Kyle.
At wide receiver, especially, we're pretty deep on wide receiver right now. Especially if we get Dwayne Bowe back. I mean, let's be real, guys. Yeah. We need to sign that guy, like I said earlier. So.
Get that done, and that concludes our Chiefs segment for today. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on The Spoken. Terry Love, Lance Twitwell, to my right, Derek Williams. Join us next time as we discuss Chiefs football. Pioli, get the deal done, please.
Tanney will not make Tanney will not make this football team.
We're waiting.
I disagree.
I'm on record. He will not make this football team.
He might get the number 3 spot.
If he's irrelevant, who cares, right?
Yeah.
He may get over Brady Quinn. You never know. Brady.